IDSA is the Infectious Disease Society of America, and their treatment protocol for Lyme disease is 28 days of antibiotics. And for someone who gets diagnosed and catches it right away, that can be enough. But for people like me and my brother who go undiagnosed for years, sometimes you need years of antibiotics to get better.
Lyme disease is not rare, and chronic Lyme disease is not rare. It's an epidemic of staggering proportions.
There's a stranglehold by a small group that wants to keep Lyme patients untreated.
Today, I'm just asking and praying that somebody in that building over there can develop a trace of skepticism for what they think they know for sure.
It's that fundamental issue, which we regard as a civil rights issue, access to care.
They need to revisit their guidelines. They need to allow their guidelines to define the disease in a way that my kids can get treated.
I've had Lyme disease for 5 years. It took them 4 years to figure it out.
If they don't recognize a chronic form of Lyme, then it puts the physician in a quandary as far as, do I adhere to the guidelines and agree with the CDC that a chronic form of Lyme disease does not exist? And if they decide to step outside the guidelines, there have been cases where the physicians have been harassed and have actually lost their licenses to practice medicine.
I started getting interested in educating my community, and we had a little newsletter, so I started writing articles, and we kept going, and I started the Lyme Times, which was 2 legal sheets of paper folded in half.
I was shocked that Lyme disease was out here on the West Coast, and as I began to look at it deeper, I found that there was a whole swath of humanity that was being denied care.
These destructive IDSA guidelines can no longer be tolerated. Getting rid of them is an important step towards the goal of helping people with Lyme get the treatment they need so they can get well again.
One of the things that I've done is, now that I have more energy and more focus, I've started contacting our local politicians.
We may be patients, but we are not patient anymore. We've had enough.
Don't deny the disease, treat it.
Chronic Lyme exists! Chronic Lyme exists!